What's good, YouTube? Back with another reaction. We had a reaction. Context is a highly underrated part of today's society. Real. We got another a new reactor. A new. I'm a react. We back with another reaction. Back to back. You know, reacts don't crack. You know, y'all been getting hit with them double uploads. I'm gonna treat y'all boys nice like it's Christmas Day. You know what I'm saying? So you know it's your boy Sly back once again, sliding on the topic for y'all boys. We got reasonable crash outs by a newcomer, Waves. As always, before we start the video, make sure y'all boys like. Make sure by the end of the day, you have 24 hours, not by the end of the day. Y'all trying to cheat. Y'all got 24 hours to do 3 good deeds. Hope by the end of these 3 good deeds, you come out like Hercules, an even stronger man or woman. You might be able to you get rid of one of these deeds by liking the video, commenting to help boost the community, and or checking the link in the description for the disc. You know what I'm saying? Community's ever growing. We gonna keep moving, bro. It's the Slot takeover, man. Nothing can stop us. So we're gonna see what Waves hitting on, and as always at the end, we're gonna see if we're gonna subscribe, and make sure whenever you subscribe or follow, yeah, turn the bell on so you don't miss the movement. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Talk to me.
Pointing out a double standard here, Adrian. I mean, take hip-hop. We've talked about this on the show before. You have African-American rappers saying inward this and inward that, but a Caucasian can't.
So say it.
Say what?
Say the word you want to say.
I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't.
So you can. Say it. Say it right now. I will say it with you.
Crashouts. We all familiar with them. People that be bunging for no reason. People.
Okay, see, I talked about this. Mic quality. I like authenticity, and sometimes like mic quality and the voice, like the way someone talks, can interest you in their content. Because we've all heard somebody with like an annoying voice. There's people with like they're naturally born rage baiting physique, where their voice is just so irritating. They can say the simplest thing and it sends you over the edge, right? But I would say this dude falls into what is it, the GMF category, the Great Matter Fanboy. Great Ben 10 creator. He has a nice voice. I need to do his voice is okay. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give y'all the reaction and the review because it's a new creator and we may be seeing more react.
Would that be over exaggerating certain scenarios and just be taken out of context 99% of the time? Shit, I crashed out when I saw that Switch 2 games were £75, fam. Are you mad, bruv? That's like a whole shift at work. And with the whole cost of living crisis we got out here in the UK, you're trying to get me to spend that to play Mario Kart, which is a game you can only play online. Suck your mom, bro. What are you talking about? But for real though, crashing out is an art. It's amazing how some people's first reaction to anything is to start moving like Grog from the cruise, or for them to throw the quickest tantrum possible, like their power levels rising, or they go.
Yeah, I think crashing out is different from a tantrum. I can't stand tantrums. A tantrum is like someone, like, forget crash out. They start being the most unproductive they could be to help the scenario. So it's like you don't care about anything anymore. You are now just doing, and it becomes, it's like a form of rage baiting, honestly. But they're not doing it. Well, sometimes they do it intentionally. They literally are just being mad to be mad. They're crashing out has reasoning. Sometimes for some people with the rare crash out physique, it doesn't always need to have the greatest reasoning. Any reasoning is a reason to crash out because they make that lifestyle. But tantrums are like shutting down and making it impossible for anyone else around you to do their job, be productive, or solve the situation. So at that point, it's like you really want to tell them to just log off. You know what I'm saying? Log off the game. You know what I'm saying? That might be too far. 80 to 90 for physical games, by the way. Yeah, Nintendo is definitely bugging. You know what I'm saying? We mess with Nintendo, though. I got the Switch. You know what I'm saying? I got, like, pretty much every Pokemon game. Well, not every Pokemon game. I got the newer ones for the Switch. I got a lot of the older ones on my joint. But on the Switch, I do have Diamond, Sword and Shield. I need to get Arceus. All right, we're going on attention. Let's log back in.
From 0 to 100 like they from obstacle, but a lot of crash outs are low-key justified. I mean, most of the time these men are just acting out after a kef.
Y'all thought I forgot? Drink out some water, touch out some grass, get y'all some sunlight.
Warning people or just asking politely. And as your host of today's video, I'll be sharing and tell you why these were all reasonable crash outs, starting with the man himself, John Walker. And before I even talk about this man, look at the glaze he's recently been getting with the success of the
Thunderbolts was a tough movie. I'm not gonna lie. I watched it in theaters. It's a pretty tough movie. I can officially say this is low-key a little, it's something not right in his head. It's a couple screws that came unloose in his head. It's a couple little screws and bolts just moving around. You know, he does chew bricks for fun. He's a rock no.
The Thunderbolts movie. It's times like this I think that as a Marvel fan myself, I actually sometimes question the community because they were hating on this man for no reason. Don't get it twisted. I'm guessed that you man are finally recognizing peak. But I've been saying this since Falcon and the Winter Soldier, fam. John Walker has always been cold.
He's actually the problem. He watched that bullshit. Ever since they started dropping TV shows, I ain't been watching them, I ain't gonna lie. One, because I just haven't had a lot of time. A movie, a lot of times, is way more concise than a TV show with like 13 episodes, 2 seasons. You feel me? So, one, it's a time thing, but also like, I'm not reading novel. You know what I'm saying?
Fam, his suit was peak, the fights were fire, and his story was peak. US Agent is such a cool character, but he got sold completely in the story. He was more than qualified to be Captain America through his accolades, achievements, and physical capabilities. He was an S-tier rank for this role, bro. Big man thing. I mean, shit. If we're being completely honest here, after I watched Thunderbolts with my boy, I think John could beat Steve in a fight, and it might not even be close, fam. After that shit.
I beg your pardon.
Be honest here, after I watched Thunderbolts with my boy, I think John could beat Steve in a fight.
So if I'm hearing properly through your wanker mouth, trolls by the way, when we look, you mess with your content. But if I'm hearing properly, from the way it's coming out of your mouth, mate, you just said John Walker is dogging on Steve, and you said it's not even close. Steve held an entire helicopter with his biceps. Steve running with Black Panther. Steve blocked the Infinity Gauntlet. Steve. Just because you seen this nigga do a Incredible Hulk jump from the old movies that we been scaled past, brother. Are we serious right now?
And it might not even be close, fam. After that super jump he did, which I did not know they could do, fam. I didn't even know that was possible. They had me in the cinema with my mouth dropped. I didn't know he could do that. It was crazy, fam. But seriously, John Walker had every right to bug out and do what he had to do in the show. And you know, I'm just gonna cut the shit and get to the part where everybody supposedly throws shade to this guy. So the moment that made everybody hate John Walker, which is mostly the part where he killed the flag.
Please cook this muff. Please flame him. That was the most garbage thing I've ever heard. Are we? I'm saying, bro. Just watch one TV show and think they educated. It's Steve. He getting some aura from Steve from Minecraft, but it's Steve, the OG cat. And I've seen people make arguments of like the arguments people been making online is like, oh, John Walker was in like a peak condition before he took the super soldier serum, so they're looking at it as like a multiplier. Like, okay, you're a peak human, and now you're taking this superhuman serum, so you'll be peak superhuman. This was a mid human. He's taking this serum, now he's mid superhuman. But like, that is ignoring all the years of training. And I'm just looking at this from a boxing standpoint. They both have military experience. Cap has better feats boxing. Argue with a wall, I'm not gonna hold you. But besides that, if we're talking a fight, going all out, are we talking about the nigga that can wield Mjolnir? Are we serious? That's Steve? That's Steve. And you know John is not picking up Mjolnir. You know on your boy, on your grandma's soul, John is not picking up Mjolnir. What are we talking about? Steve is cooking, bro. And he don't even have a vibranium shield. You gotta take it away. He's trash. Well, he's not trash, but he got bullied by Sentry. I don't think he... Look, I'm a Bucky Glazer, and I'll admit that because he kind of cold. And I don't think John is beating Bucky easily. So to say, oh, he beating Steve easily... I told you he sound like he chew on bricks.
Smasher, and everybody saying things like, oh, the guy was trying to surrender, a hero doesn't kill. And by far my favorite one, Steve Rogers wouldn't have done this. Like, you sure Steve Rogers hasn't killed anyone, bro?
Okay, coming back with a little bit of a better take, unsponsored ad by the way, but Steve has Swanton Bomb is from 30 feet in the air with a vibranium shield. So to be fair, because the Marvel writers are aura farming for Steve, he has been doing some things that low-key kill people. But you can't act like that super jump wasn't them aura farming and hyping up John. Because if John can super jump like that, but this gonna debunk the feat right here. If he can super jump like that, why are we afraid to leave the compound? Well, people shooting at you. Yeah, they shooting at you, But who can aim at something in the dark that is 30, 40 meters in the air, constantly just jumping, like the Incredible Hulk used to do? Nobody. Nobody's hitting that target. Then it's got Stormtrooper aim. So realistically speaking, if he could do that consistently, he would have. They made him do that one time because it looked cool. And other super soldiers, presumably, can do that. Just because you ain't seen them do it, don't mean they can't. You know what I'm saying? You might not see Trunks when he's a baby going Super Saiyan, but he's a Saiyan. He most likely can do that once he gets up there in the levels of power. So we're saying this is a Captain America candidate. Mind you, you're using Captain America as a place, as a benchmark to see if this even is worth his dirt as a super soldier. This is trying to measure up to him. So if he can do it, Cap can do it. Simple. Simple. Feet completely debunked. That aside, Captain America was catching Infinity Gauntlets. This could never. He's not running ones with Thanos. So he's not running ones with Steve. Very simple. Every hit not a kill, bro. See, but look, hold on. And that
doesn't
same
kill.
right?
And by far my favorite
Here we
one,
go.
Steve Rogers
I'm a physics
wouldn't have
major,
done this.
chat.
Like, you
Let me show
sure
y'all
Steve
something.
Rogers hasn't killed anyone, bro?
Survived the impact of that. The shield didn't. People think shields block damage. No, shields redirect the damage to the material and then to the person. It's vibranium. We've seen vibranium make shoes that don't make sound, so you can argue that the shield took most of the impact. I get that to you. Kicked the car, made the car go flying. Cars weigh tons, by the way. And that made a person who weighs like 200 pounds plus, because he's wearing SWAT gear, go flying. It's not really that impressive. Drop kicks a man a good 15, 20 or so feet. Full geared out. Once again, same exact feet. That boy sleep. Dented the concrete by throwing it. It's like, if you really want to get nitpicky about feats, if he's able to drop kick it that far, it's not hard to assume he can jump 15, 20 feet in the air. We don't know how high John jumped. We know John couldn't reach the top, so he can't jump that high, but he jumped pretty high. Oh, boy.
Let's be honest, superheroes have killed a bunch of people regardless of them being bad guys or not. Most of the time we don't even count them as kills because they be doing way worse shit most of the time. With that being said, let me give you a deep analysis of the scenario which...
I don't like the clip of Black Panther there because low-key, he did kill Killmonger. But like, Killmonger is literally Killmonger's definition of like, that was a thematical conflict taking place through two characters. So even though T'Challa didn't want to kill him, he said, I'd rather die than be locked up. They could have very much well healed him. But it's a kill or be killed fight. You can't expect a superhero to just not fight for survival. You know, even like Batman don't kill, but you be seeing the stuff he be doing. That look like it would kill somebody. Will they have bones fractured? Will they be knocked out? Most definitely. But if your opponent's fighting to kill you, you have no choice. That is you showing them mercy. You know what I'm saying? So a hero pulling their punches is them showing mercy. So I think kills like that, in T'Challa's case, where it's like, we fighting for our lives on equal footing. If not, this was stronger than me. He has to fight seriously and take advantage of the fact that he has more experience as a fighter and a combatant. I don't think that's like a kill. That's like if a hero was trying to save somebody and it like slapped the hero's arm and then they fell off the bridge. It's like, what do you want the hero to do? Jump down there, catch them, and let themselves break their back and die when they save thousands of lives on a daily? It's not their kill, it's just an unavoidable death. A kill is like, you had intent of killing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are heroes who can't control their strength when they first come out. They punch in, oh, he's in a comatose state for mad long. Or like, oh, he's dead. You could go, that's a killer. Or, for a second, think about one, what the character portrays. And two, that this character, put yourself in their shoes, is human. You know how scary that is? They're not trying to kill nobody. You know what I'm saying?
led John Walker to even kill the Flag Smasher in the first place. So before this even happens, the leader of the Flag Smashers, Carly, or better known as Pebbles, bro, from Top Boy, was planning to separate all the man them and kill John Walker in the first place. So Bucky and Sam get to and realize they start Walker, so they start moving to his location ASAP. Fast forward now, and they're all scrapping with the rest of the terrorists. And in this scene, John Walker gets grabbed by the man he kills later, who attempts to hold him so Pebbles can kill him with a knife, bro. So battle starts.
Super soldier being held down by a grown man and going to the feet in Thunderbolts, he can jump very high. What's saying he couldn't just jump just then while he's in this full Nelson? I doubt, just based off physics, I doubt once they're coming down, the guy that weighs less and isn't carrying a vibranium shield is not going to be fucking floating and losing his grip. You know what I'm saying? He can beat Steve though.
Start tackles Carly, and then she just punches the life out of my man, killing him. I like Naruto was when he fought Hinata.
They might be super soldiers too after seeing that. I don't know, ball.
Died. John Walker was furious, fam. So he starts chasing down the terrorists to find out where Carly's gone, and in pursuit, the terrorist just dashes a concrete bin at him. And bear in mind, I didn't share this at the start, but he's now a super soldier. But if he didn't have the serum, he probably would have been knocked out or worse. So John Walker finally chases my man down and does the deed. And look at Carly looking all shocked at one of her brethren died when she was killing innocent people the entire show. Look at Carly looking all shocked.
He killed him by choice with the shield. Okay. I thought he was gonna like have some like excuse. Like, oh, it's an accident. You pulled your shield up, slammed it down on him. Could have wrapped him up in rebar. Broken his arms and legs. Brutal for Captain America to do. Less PR ruining when compared to you killed a man in Captain America. Brave soldier, whatever.
Shocked at one of her brethren died when she was killing innocent people the entire show. She blew up a building full of people, took hostages, and did a whole GTA ragdoll out the car to even kill the hostages. I guess it was saving them. The GOAT himself, John Walker, fam. The show was painting John Walker as a bad guy from the start. Like Bucky and Sam were hating on him for no reason when him and Battlestar were just trying to do their job. Remember, the only reason why John Walker was even able to turn into Captain America was because Sam's dumbass decided not to take the opportunity for Captain America himself. He was handpicked by the man and he decided to take it and give it to the government. We're like, bro, it's your fault that shit even happened in the first place. And Bucky was just hating because he wasn't Steve. He was up there gobbling Steve shit so bad that he couldn't see that somebody else would have eventually picked up the mantle of Captain America. And instead of being a comrade and a friend, he just became a hater, bro. And by far, this is the worst version of Bucky in the MCU, fam. His trim is shit, bro. His barber don't mess him up, fam. Don't get me wrong, John Walker definitely had his flaws. Like right after he killed the Flag Smasher and started scrapping with Bucky and Sam, he was low-key trying to kill them, I'll be honest. He was crazy here. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he was treated poorly by other superheroes. Yes, John Walker was working for the government, and Bucky and Sam weren't. But that doesn't mean you give the guy mistreatment. That was just mad unprofessional. Especially from unks who've been in the game collectively for like 100 years. What the hell is wrong with you two?
But also, I mean, it's probably for his character why Sam didn't take the serum. But, I mean, no. I think it's for the symbolism. So it is kind of for his character. That, like, anybody can be Captain America. That went from Steve to Bucky, who's, you know, two different races, two different heights, two different backgrounds, not even from the same timeline, and he's Captain America. I think that shows that the hope that Cap inspires, but also like, yeah, anybody can be Cap. There is no, it's the heart that makes you Captain America, because Steve started off little and the little guy, but he had the grit, the determination. So I think that's what it symbolizes by him not taking a serum. But also at the same time, it's like, realistically speaking, you know what I'm saying?
Type of treatment these two were given Walker and Battlestar was something Steve would have never done, and they were both mentioning his morals and ideals significantly in the show just to never be behind it themselves. And another thing going back to Carly was when Sam was out here saying she wasn't a terrorist, acting like he didn't know the type of shit she was doing. The writing in this show was so twisted. They tried to justify Carly's actions so much more and practically painted John Walker as more of a villain.
It's a Marvel show, bro. I'm not watching that.
to some people. How is that even possible, bro? I'm happy that John Walker is finally getting recognized for how cool he is now with how cold the Thunderbolts movie was. But even before this, Marvel fans were just hating on him because he wasn't Steve. And fans act like Steve was a golden boy, like he wasn't throwing his shield at 70 miles per hour and shooting a bunch of people. Marvel fans are so delusional, bro. You were holding on to John Walker's kill like Iron Man didn't murder a bunch of terrorists in his movie. Like remember, before John Walker became US agent, he killed one person as Captain America. One person, fam. And it wasn't even someone special. It was a terrorist who was about to get him murdered. People hate on John Walker need to jump off their high horse, man, for real. But John Walker is a sick character, and I'm happy people are starting to jump on that opinion. But
See, luckily, I don't really hate on nobody, so I don't feel bad for him. I don't have any commentary for his rant about John Walker because I'm not too deep into he sucks, you know. So it's like, talk yours.
Thunderbolts was such a cold movie, and as a Marvel fan, I can say we're back, fam. For real though, the John Walker hate was never justified, and his crash out killing the Flag Smasher just made sense in the moment. Fans were just hating at this because he wasn't Steve, and just because the writers want you to dislike a character shouldn't mean that they're actually an unlikable character. John Walker was a real victim of the show, being mistreated and disrespected by comrades, being significantly weaker than every foe they had to face in the show, which probably caused him to take the serum, because in his head he was probably thinking, if I can't defend anyone, then what's the point of being Captain America? And him seeing his best friend die, the only guy who was by his side, to then kill the murderer, to then be demonized and stripped away from his title by the government who made him into this, and he still took it on the chin and saved the people in the car. This gave me mad respect for Walker, bro, I'll be honest. And when I saw his redemption in the fans, that's when I knew we were doing something right. And now it's time for the next crash out, Benson from Regular Show. To this day, to me, Regular Show is one of the most rewatchable cartoons of all time. It's like you get a different perspective or viewpoint of it every time you watch it at a different stage of your life. And when I was a kid, I used to hate Benson, bro. To me, when I was younger, he was just a guy who used to get angry at Mordecai Rigby all the time. He was just mad uptight.
Hey, bro, the older you get, the more you realize Benson is the average that is having to work a 9 to 5. And imagine you work your way up to get to manager, and your employees are these fucking dweebs. Now, to be fair, I with Mordecai Rigby, but like, put yourself in business shoes.
And annoying. Like when I was a kid, I used to hate how strict teachers were, and at the time I used to relate better to a teacher so much I'd low-key dislike my man heavy. But what I've come to realize as I've become more and more conscious, self-aware, and have experienced more life as I've grown up, is that I feel bad for Benson low-key. Benson just wanted all his employees to just do their jobs and commit, and instead of getting that, most of them were just slacking, especially Mordecai and Rigby. Benson just wanted these guys to do simple things like clean a room, fold chairs, take responsibility for any problems they've done. And what do instead? They go slack off or go do something completely random that isn't their job. Time and time again, Benson would have to keep telling Mordecai Rigby over and over again just to do their jobs, which isn't something you
Mind you, the big issue with that is it's like it's doable with children. Granted, it's still annoying, but with grown men, it's a certain amount of rage bait that becomes where it's like if you ever had to wash dishes behind a grown person that's not related to you. Grow the fuck up, man. You know what I'm saying? And in his case, I'm paying you. Lock in, bro. You know what I'm saying? I won't treat you bad. Free housing. You get food, bro. You get checks, bro. Lock in.
You should be telling two grown-ass men to do. They should just be doing it instead. Benson would have to always lash out and start raging at these men. And they got so bad at one point, Pops had to tell him to stop yelling at Mordecai Rigby or else he would be fired. And Mordecai Rigby were taking a piss out of this and took advantage, which literally caused Benson to turn into the sun and started destroying the park. Benson has showed time and time again he just wanted Mordecai Rigby to do their jobs. And we all know every time he threatened to fire Mordecai Rigby, he was never gonna fire them. He only said that so he could push some sort of urgency and get them to do their jobs. But instead of doing their jobs, they'll just go on some random side quest that destroys the park 99% of the time. Like if I was Mordecai Rigby's manager, I would be tweaking out as well, fam. These guys never took their job seriously. Benson never asked him to do any complicated shit. All he would ask him to do were baby chores we were all doing at like 9 years old. And instead Mordecai Rigby were treating us like it was the hardest thing to do possible. Benson's anger and rage towards his employees is the most justified point I've made in this video, because it's not only that he's their boss and that it's his responsibility to hold them accountable to their jobs and make sure everything gets done, but it's also the fact that Benson cares about his employees. Like I mentioned earlier, time and time again he's wanted to fire Mordecai Rigby. Like he literally says this every episode, and he did fire them in one, but they quit anyway, so don't even count. Just didn't work out for these men. But majority of the time Benson just says it as a threat so they can do their jobs. Benson has a soft spot for Mordecai Rigby. At the time Mordecai was depressed about Margaret and he told Mordecai to go speak to Margaret to get closure. By the time he helped Rigby to pass a foreign language class to graduate high school, and he even helped save them in the stick hockey episode after he got rid of it because Mordecai Rigby yet again didn't do their jobs. But by far the saddest moment of Benson is the episode where Mordecai Ruby destroy a car, and Mr. Mailer puts the responsibility of that on Benson, or else he's gonna fire him. So he has to go drive all the way to the dealership all day to get there. And Mordecai and Ruby sneak their way onto his car, and since Benson has driven out too far already, he agrees and lets them stay with him to drive to the dealership. And during the drive, they start chilling and having fun. And there's even a moment where Benson tells Mordecai and Ruby the reason why he gets mad at them all the time is just because he wants them to do better and push them for that. Benson then hands them the responsibility to keep driving since he's gonna take a nap. And Mordecai and Ruby decide to take a detour, drive into an arcade, and spend all night at the arcade. And then we just get this sad scene from Benson.
I'm about to lose my job! You may not care about keeping your jobs, but I care about keeping mine. Because if I lose my job, I have nothing. Do you hear me? I have nothing.
The rage you can only have as like a 60-plus-year-old. Okay, he's not that old. 45-plus-year-old man who been working for the company, and you literally after bonding with these niggas and realizing y'all not that bad, bro. Trust them, and they go, oh, let's go goon in the back seat. What, bro? Do your job.
And wanted to do was get these men to take their job seriously, do better in their lives, make something of themselves. But instead of that, they just messed up. They just messed about, which slowly had repercussions and problems toward Benson, since he's their manager and takes responsibility for any job or work they haven't done yet. I mean, Mordecai and Ruby most of the time will complete a task or something, but it's normally at the cost of something else. Like when Benson, who was very extreme for this, I'm not gonna lie to you, hired a bounty hunter to find his car, and Mordecai and Ruby stole the car to fix the window they broke, which eventually caused the bounty hunter to just blow up the car, but the glass stayed. Like that's a piss take, I'm gonna be honest, fam. But for real though, if we're keeping it 100, for us adults now that used to watch regular show when we were kids, probably sympathize with Benson a lot more now, as we ourselves have grown and gained a lot more responsibilities and realize way more now. Mordecai and Ruby were in the wrong most of the time. I really and truly, they should have been fired a long time ago, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. And now for my final crash out. And before I even enlighten you on why this person was right for getting angry, I'm gonna paint a picture for you so you can get the most out of this explanation. We all most likely have somebody in our lives we hate. It's deep in our bones, deep in our hearts. I'm talking about when you hear their name, you get furious, fam. You just start raging with envy when they start winning and you don't. And you weren't always like this. You and this person used to be friends, comrades, something like brothers. People couldn't separate you two sometimes because of how close you were. But then they betrayed you. They let you down in your darkest hour. They fumbled when you needed them most, and after that moment, you vowed to never trust a human soul like that ever again. Now I want you to take all the anger I've just helped you resurface and throw it at Dinkelberg and scream it with me. Bun Dinkelberg, man. Everything in Mr. Turner's life was ultimately horrible because of Dinkelberg. The weather was horrible. Dinkelberg. His tie didn't match his shirt. Dinkelberg. The Turner household ran out of milk. Dinkelberg. And when I was younger and used to watch Very Odd Parents, often I just thought that Mr. Turner was a hater. However, I have some strong evidence here which justifies the hate against Dinkelberg. In the episode where Timmy goes back in time, we can see his parents. And before Mr. Turner was with his wife, she was close to Dinkelberg. Now I know that's a relatable feeling. When you see fine shit but they already with somebody else, that shit gets me heated for real. Not to mention, Dinkelberg is a huge rage baiter. This guy would spend time out of his day to go bug and annoy Mr. Turner on some dumb shit, whether he used to show off him being rich or even just.
And he'd be like on a fake nice type timing. Like when Goku asks you genuinely, have you ever trained in your life? You know how annoying that is if you've been fighting for like your entire life to get to this pinnacle of power, and you hear this saying, this monkey hits you with the, hey, have you ever trained before? I'm tweaking, bro. In the same way Dinkelberg rage baits in the like slightest ways and acts like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like if I'm not mistaken, he got an award in his hand right now. He's about to have his dog go fetch that. An award this nigga probably wanted.
Just come to his house for no reason to gloat and be passive aggressive. We all know what it's like to be rage baited by that one person who consistently does it to the point we all fall for it. And Mr. Turner was getting this done daily, from his childhood all the way to when he became a dad and was raising Timmy. Dinkelberg was consistently baiting this man and it was working. He even convinced Mr. Turner to try and kill this guy several times. Believe me, if I could wake up tomorrow with Toon Force and blow up my enemy, I probably would, I'll be honest. As peaceful as I am, I hate some brothers, but we ain't gonna go into that. But to get real here, I'm sure the hate Mr. Turner had towards Dinkelberg was just because he was jealous of Dinkelberg for having no kids. And the Dink in Dinkelberg stands for dual income, no kids. And that's how they're so rich compared to the Turners who can't afford half the stuff the Dinkelbergs be buying. And that's probably why Mr. Turner carries some hate for Dinkelberg in the future. Also, Timmy was ruining a bunch of stuff for his dad, like losing awards he should have won, but then they got handed to Dinkelberg, which is a piss take. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd be heated at that. And as an adult, I can humbly say, but Dinkelberg, I hate Dinkelberg, you hate Dinkelberg, we all hate Dinkelberg, but this guy, man. But ladies and gentlemen, we at the end of the flick. If you lot got any more reasonable crash outs I haven't mentioned in this video, put them in.
That was a call a little bit by Waves. Had a couple double W takes in there. I had a crazy bad take, but you know what I'm saying. We're not gonna hold them too. We're not gonna be too strict on them about those. You know what I'm saying. Appreciate y'all boys for sticking around and watching this video. As always, make sure y'all get y'all sunlight and drink y'all some water. Touch y'all some grass. You know what I'm saying. Live that good life. Make sure you get them 3 good deeds done within the next 24. Like I said earlier, links in the description for the Discord. And yeah, it's gonna be all for me. Peace.